Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to continue from where we left last time. So last time we configured a direct pair between a local direct pair between phone 1 and phone 2, and we were able to ring from phone 1 to phone 2 or vice versa. So this time around we're going to do a router direct pair, which means we're going to do exactly the same thing but on the remote end. So it's going to be something like this. So we have one side has exactly what we already did is working, and then we will create another site which is basically the same configuration except the IP ranges are all different. IP address scheme is different. So on the first site was 172.16.15.0 for voice and 5.0 for data. On the other end, it's going to be 16.0 for voice and 6.0 for data. Okay, and so the sites are going to be separated with the through the IP address 10.0.0.0/30. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to basically just copy this and replicate on the other side. So I'm going to copy this just the way it is. Okay, and then it's selected. I'm going to say copy, say Control C. Let me see if I can copy everything. Okay, so it's copied. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to modify this other end completely so that it reflects a different completely different site. Okay, and then I'm going to link them up with the I'm going to link them up on the one link on the one port. Okay, so this one, instead of 16, it's 15, it's going to be dot 16. Instead of dot 5, it's going to be dot 6. And this one is going to be PC2, PC3, sorry. And this one is going to be PC4. Okay, and by the way, I'm going to make sure that in the beginning they don't have they don't have any IP address. Okay, so there's no IP yet because we have to reset everything. So no IPs, the phones, I could take off the power supply. I'm going to take off the power supply for now. Okay, so only this side is functional. This other side has to be done from 0. So I'm going to come to the switch first, make some few changes. So by the way, before then, this one is going to be called switch 22. And this one is going to be called router 22. Okay, so I'm going to go into the switch configuration, make sure these two ports are configured exactly like on the other end, but for different VLANs. So first I have to remove the VLANs that were there already. So if I do show VLAN brief, okay, I don't even have to remove, I just have to add more VLANs. Okay, so I have VLAN 5 and VLAN 15. I need to add VLAN 6 and VLAN 16. Okay, because we want both sides to be able to talk to each other. So actually on the other hand, I actually have to add on the other switch, I have to add two VLANs. That I'll do later. So go first here, configure terminal, the host name, I'll call this one So if we go into the switch and check the configuration, we should see the ports are all set up. Show run. Okay, port fastener 01 is set to strong port, just like on the other side, facing the router. So fastener 02 has is an access port for VLAN 6 data, VLAN 16 voice. Same thing for port 03. So what's left to do is to configure the router, okay, so that at least on the second side of this diagram, that these phones can have IP addresses and that they could at least talk to each other before we link up this router to the other router. Okay, so I'm going to go into the router to set up the configuration, just like on the first part. So on the router, this is the configuration I'm going to add for DHCP ranges. I'm going to make sure that I delete the other lines that were on the previous configuration. So it's not going, it's going to be no IP DHCP excluded IP addresses .5 172.16.5, okay, and .15. I'm going to delete those lines, and I'm going to add the two lines that replace those ones. So it's going to be IP DHCP excluded address 172.16.6.1 up to .20. Okay, so I just make sure everything is here. This one should be .6 here, and this one should be .16. Okay, so yeah, so I created a notepad just to make sure I don't make an error in doing this. So the same thing when I'm creating the DHCP pools. First thing, I have to delete the previous pool. Okay, I delete this pool and then I create a new pool. Okay, so that new pool has a 172.116.6.0 and 16.6 here for 16.16 and 16.6. Okay, so I'm just going to copy paste. There's nothing new on the router that is we haven't seen yet. Okay, so I'm just going to copy paste and then we check if the phones and the IPs, if the phones and the PCs received IP addresses. All right, so I just wanted to point out something here. So basically, I have configured the DHCP ranges on the router. So first thing, before even configuring telephony service, I have to make sure that the IP address, that the phones and the PCs have IP addresses. Actually disabled telephony service. In the meantime, just the first thing I have to make sure those devices have IP addresses. So if I come here, what is it? This one. So if I come here, I should have IP addresses on the phones as well as on the PCs. Let me start with the PCs first. I go here and I go, okay, so I'm going to go static. Okay, got an IP address 172.16.6. Okay, this is important. .6 data and .15 is voice. So it's .6.21, the first IP that's available. That's good. And this one should also have .22. If I put it on DHCP, .22, that's good. So the PCs have IPs. Now the phones should also have IPs, but before then, I have to power them on. So I go to power this one's on. And then go here, do the same thing. That's first thing before doing configuring telephony services. So now the phones have IPs. The phones have the phones are powered on. So I'm going to check if they have IPs. Okay, they got an IP. This one has got .21 and this other one got .22. Okay, so now we are set to start configuring telephony services on the router. So I'm going to click in there, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do exactly what we did on the other side. So I'm going to say telephony service maximum phones going to be 2. Okay, we have just 2 phones on each side, so maximum phone this side is going to be 2, and then maximum direct numbers is 2. And then first we have to delete the the source address, which was pointing to .15. Now it's going to be pointing to .15, .16 instead of 15. All right, so that's the only thing you have to do there, and then also change the numbers. Okay, I'm just going to copy paste, and then I'll be back. All right, so if I do show run, I did copy paste all the configuration as exactly on the other side. So if I do show run here, I see we have our DHCP excluded IP addresses, everything we tested, we saw the IPs were coming, so we don't need to check this one. And the telephony service was already configured. I reconfigured the telephony service here with maximum ePhones 2, maximum directory numbers 2, and then I set the source address to 16.16. And then I configure numbers now with the new range, which is 2001 one phone, and then 2002 for the second phone. All right, so we're going to check if those phones are receiving those numbers, and then we try to ping them locally. So we're going to call those numbers locally, and then from there we're going to try to see how we're going to route them between different sites. So what happened is I did this configuration and ran into a problem, and so my phones have IP addresses, but they cannot have the numbers that are assigned from the voice gateway. So right now I'm trying to troubleshoot to see exactly what is the issue, but I found something, and I think I should be able to correct it with it. So what happened is if you check here, if I hover over phone 3, you're going to see it has a MAC address of 000.1 .c780 BCA2, and then if I go over phone 4, see it as a MAC address of 0001 C771 D8 D5. But if I go into the router, and do show run, and I check the ePhones have different IP addresses. Okay, I'm just going to compare side by side. So this is what I see on the router. So I'm just going to copy this. Okay, just going to copy. I'm going to go to a notepad. I think I already pasted there. So yeah, this I already pasted. So this is what I'm seeing in the router. Okay, but the real MAC addresses should be this one for this iPhone. Okay, and this other one for this other second iPhone. Okay, so I'm going to manually configure these ones. So that's the only difference, and with that, hopefully the phone should be able to pick up IP address. So I'm going to do it right away. Let's say configure terminal. Say ePhone 1, ePhone 1. Okay, and then I'm just going to set the MAC address to for ePhone 1. I'm going to set the MAC address instead of what I have here. I'm going to set it to this one. By the way, I could just say no MAC address this, and then I'm going to set a new MAC address. So the new MAC address is going to be this one. And that's the same thing I'm going to do for the iPhone, for the ePhone 2. Okay. All right. So let's double check again. So we're going to check to see that the ePhones 4 and 3, they have this MAC addresses set for the, okay. So I'm going to do show run again. Okay. So this is the MAC address for ePhone 1. Okay. That's what we have here. And for ePhone 2, that's what we have. Okay. So now let's go to the phones and see if they have IP address. They have phone numbers right now. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do something quickly. I'm just gonna the physical, unplug unplug the power and plug the power back on. Yeah, so this is some of the troubleshooting we have to run through to get these phones working and packet tracer. All right, so finally, these two new phones, they actually got their numbers now. After basically it was after I changed the manually changed the ePhone MAC addresses. Okay, when I changed the ePhone MAC addresses, it worked. Okay, but I also needed to change the phones just to make sure that they are not the same phones that I used the other side. Remember, I took this site, I just basically copied the other side. So it was like the same phones with the same MAC addresses. So I basically have to change the phones again. So anyways, that was a bit of troubleshooting there. And now we have, our phones have numbers. We have line number 2001 for this phone 3 and 2002 for phone 4. And we can actually put them side by side and call. Okay, make a call. Okay, so these phones are side by side. I'm going to go to the GUI, and so I'm going to call 2002. Okay, so this is 2001. Okay, so if I go 2002, no, I'm calling myself. So I'm calling myself. So I'm going to do like this. I'm going to call 2002. Okay, so it's calling this one. So these two phones are communicating each other on the other side. Okay, so that one's working. So what's left? What's left is to link up these two sides. Okay, we have to link them up and then make sure that phone 3 could call phone 1 and phone 1 could call phone 4, and the two sides can talk to each other. Okay. All right, so let's link these two sides up. Okay, I'm just going to go to link here. I'm just going to pick this one and connect here. So fascinated 1 is connected to fascinated 2. The ports are down. So I'm just going to go in here and go to configure and fascinated 01. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to turn it on and give it an IP address. Let's give it an IP address of 10.0.0.1. Okay, so 10.0.0.1. Okay, and subnet mask is going to be 255.255.252. Okay, /30. Simple as that. And then I'm going to okay, it's already on, so that's good. I'm going to do the same thing here, but now it's going to be 10.0.0.2 here. Okay. Go to this one, turn it on, and it's going to be 10.0.0.2, 255.255.252. Okay, that's set up. Now, still, these sites cannot talk to each other on the LAN side. Okay, like the LAN IPs on this side cannot talk to the LAN IPs on the other side because we need to enable routing. Okay, so I'm gonna use OSPF. Okay, I'm gonna use OSPF. I'm going just to go to CLI mode for router 11. Exit. See router OSPF. Router OSPF process 1. I'm going to define some network 10.0.0.0. Then we provide a wildcard mask with 0.0.0.3. Okay, let's call it area 0. Then we also define the other network, the network for data, which is 172.16.5.0, 0.0.0.255. Okay, area 0. Do the same thing for the voice. Okay, that's going to be area 0 as well. So OSPF is defined on the router 1.1 here. We're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. All right, so routing is done. The routing part is done. So basically, after adding the OSPF on this router and on this other router, we should have full connectivity between the PCs on all the sites, but the phones should not connect because we haven't actually configured the router direct pairs. So let's just test the connectivity. Let's say from PC1, we try to ping PC3. So PC3, before then, let's check what's the IP address of PC3 is 6.21. Okay, so 6.21. I'm gonna come here, ping 172.16.6.21. Should be pinging. All right, so we have yeah, we can ping side to side. Okay, because I knew it had to work because the routing was already completed, and even though I didn't check the show IP route. Okay, we can see OSPF routes. Okay, we see OSPF routes actually coming from, like, this route is coming from this other side. Okay, we're checking on router 22, which means this route is coming from the other side. So everything is working fine. The only thing is this phone cannot ring the other phone there. Okay, like, let's say if I come here, if I try to ring 2001 from 1001. Okay, let's try it. Don't lose anything. Let's try it. Let's see what. Try to ring. Okay, I'm gonna ring. This is on the side 3. So I'm gonna say 2001. Okay, so that's not working, and that's okay because we haven't configured the direct pair. So we're going to configure the direct pair right now, the router direct pair. Alright, so let's go into router 1 first, the router 11 first. Okay, configure terminal. So we're going to say direct pair voice. Okay, so it's going to be direct pair voice, and then we give a provide direct pair tag. We're going to give a tag of 1. Okay, and then we call it voice over IP. Then we'll provide a destination pattern. Okay, I'm going to call this destination pattern on the other side as 2 ... Okay, and then I'm going to call the session target IP version 4. I'll provide an IP address on the other side, which is 172.16. Actually, it's going to be the voice gateway IP address, which is 172.16.16.1. Okay, all right, so that's it for this router. I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side, except that the IPs are going to be reversed. So I'm going to go to router 22, configure terminal. I call it direct pair voice. Okay, set the tag of 1, and I call it the voice over IP. I provide a destination pattern of 1 ... Okay, so remember we are on site 2, so we providing the destination pattern of the numbers that we have on the first site. Okay, enter, and then we provide a session target. It's going to be IP version 4 with the IP address of the voice gateway, which is 172.16.15.1. okay, and with this, basically the configuration should be okay, and we should have our phones ringing, okay, across the board. So again, we're going to do the same thing we did previously. We're going to open up this phone, bring it out. Okay, this one's going to be phone 1. Let's see if we can ring phone 4. Okay, and remember the phone 4 has an IP address of 2002. Okay, so phone 4 has an IP address 2002. So let's see, actually we could do it the other way around. I'm going to ring 2001 from 2002. Okay, so it's going to be 20, oh no, not this one. It's going to be 1001. Okay, which I'm trying to ring this phone from the other side. So okay, so if I go here, okay, the reason we don't see is because I'm ringing it from I'm ringing this other phone. Okay, so if I bring this other phone, so this one I see it's ringing, so I'm ringing this phone. So if I take this, so there's communication between phone 4 and phone 2. Okay, so phone 2 has an IP has a phone number of 1002, and so there's communication. Okay, there's communication between the two phones, and I'm just going to close that communication, exit out of there, and so we now have our phones ringing across the board. Okay, and also everything is working according to the plan. And this is the end of this video, and thanks a lot for watching. In the next series of videos, I will not be doing voice for now, but I will introduce a different topic. Okay, so this is it for this video, and thanks a lot for watching, and talk to you next time.